What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of The Arena. We are recording this on Thursday night at like 10 p.m. Iran just got attacked by Israel. But first, let's talk about the biggest news story this week, the LA riots, or protests, or whatever you want to call them. They've been covered ad nauseum, but you guys were talking about it right before we started recording. I'll let you keep going.
Yeah. Conrad, you want to start over?
Oh, yeah, it's a little nuts, man. I really don't know what to make of it. National Guard deployed. I think there was just a court ruling, though. I saw Parnas say that Newsom is going, the court ruled that return the control of the National Guard to Governor Newsom. But it's just like, it seems like a very, very needless escalation. And it just seems to, they sent the military to provoke a response. And
Exactly.
and they're going to do this in other cities too, which honestly pisses me off. And I think there needs to be a broader discussion of like, okay, you want to come in here and do this to the cities? That's cool. Like, you don't get our money.
For real?
I,
Dude, 100%. No, 100%. I mean, I live in Texas. I'm in Houston, and the No Kings protest. I mean, California, they even Newsom, every California official basically was like, listen, we don't need National Guard. This is just going to fizzle out. And that's what always happens. It will fizzle out eventually. It sucks, but I can't do it all day, every day. Donald Trump just fucking threw gas on the fire. And the worst part about it is, Greg Abbott now is calling the National Guard. So we're having a No Kings protest here in Houston, San Antonio, all these places. Abbott literally said in the news, fuck around and find out. So I don't really want to go. I don't want to get fucking shot by a fucking rubber bullet or a tear gas or something like that. San Antonio, I mean, they're bringing like 2,000 troops, not 2,000 troops, but they're bringing a shit ton of troops to San Antonio this weekend. It's terrifying.
No, for sure, I agree with everything you guys are saying. It is very scary, not the actual protests. The actual protests are cool, and quite frankly, I think the actual protests worked because he's already backed off of going after farmers in hotels.
Yep.
Because he saw what was happening. And I think that you guys are absolutely right. They're taking this opportunity to fan the flames. I mean, some people are even arguing that like red states should take their national guards and send it into blue states, which if that happens, Civil War Round 2 Electric Boogaloo. However, I think that, like I said, the bigger thing that I think people should focus on is that these protests work. And I think Saturday is going to be a very sad day for our country, but at the same time, it's going to be worse for them than for us. Because not only are there around 2,000 protests planned around the country in every single state, not only are millions of people going to come out and let their feelings be known, but none of the major networks are going to carry his little parade. There's an 80% chance of rain in Washington, D.C., so it's literally going to fucking rain on it. And I think that it is going to be more so a day of togetherness for the vast majority of this country. And the people that still believe what they believe, they're either dumb or they're just evil, and they don't really deserve a chance at this point.
Exactly. Conrad, is there a No Kings parade in Erie?
yeah, we're going to go.
Dude,
Bro,
there's a
I'm not going to lie, dude. If it's going to take something happening to a regular old, like, did you see that one lady trying to get back into her apartment and they shot her with a rubber bullet?
yes, dude,
Like,
terrifying.
they're but it's just kind of like, hey, this is going to be you, right? This is your family who may disagree with you at the Thanksgiving dinner table, whatever, but like, it's coming for all of us now. There's no excuse for this.
Yeah, none at all. It's
100%.
fucking terrifying. I mean, dude, just talking about how many like just every fucking town, Meadville, for God's sakes, is having a No Kings parade right in
Dude,
front of.
really?
Yeah, fucking Meadville. I'm looking at the ones in Texas. The place I used to live in, Katie's having one. Huntsville, College Station, Bryan, Cypress, all these towns, Sugarland, League City. It it's wild. Just everywhere in the Houston area.
Oh,
Houston's gonna have one too. I think people
And
are just so fucking pissed off.
dude, like, just think about this, all right? Afghanistan, we're about 15 times the size of Afghanistan. They couldn't fucking control that country.
Nope.
How are they going to do it here? There's
They
no
won't be able
way.
to.
They're not.
There's no
They
way.
can't.
And also that's the other thing. Um, we're gonna talk about this later, but I think they're going to be stretched so thin, just like all of the regime's resources are going to be stretched so thin on Saturday, because with all the protests and first game of the World Cup, Club World Cup, so they're gonna have to deal with that too, because they talked a big game. Now they did have to delete that little post that they made talking about being suited and booted up for the first game. They did delete that afterwards. But I just, combined with what we saw today with Senator Padilla getting arrested, also terrifying. But even that, like, they tried to spin it by saying he didn't identify itself, and, like, the first thing you hear in any of the videos is him identifying himself. So they can't even, they're losing the ability to lie well, too, because their little brains cannot handle being this wrong, being in your face.
What
Exactly.
is the quote from Chernobyl? Every lie incurs a debt to the truth. And like essentially one day that debt must be paid. I mean, with Iran and Israel, like how are we supposed to protect citizens here abroad and deploy them in our own cities? Like, what are we doing, man?
Dude, it's
No,
just such. I'm sorry.
no, it's sorry. I feel like we we wanted to condense this, but
No,
it's
we're
like, dude,
good.
it like, man,
No,
it just
even
pisses
with
me off.
It's
100%,
disgusting, man. Just the
100%.
response. I mean, sending fucking Marines to to fucking quash a protest. It's not even a major protest. It's a fucking protest. They turned a small protest into a fucking major nationwide wide protest, right? I
Yeah,
mean, who the fuck? I don't know. It's so dumb. It's
and
so
I
fucking
think
stupid.
that's what he didn't expect. I don't think Donald Trump expected it to go on to the other states because of what he did. I think he just thought it was an LA thing. That I think in his brain he's convinced that like Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass were behind all of this, or that. I mean, apparently, according to Political Wire, Russia is like paying to like raise the profile of all the right wing conspiracy theories about the protests. That like, oh,
Hmm.
Mexico is making them do this shit like that. Russia is just stoking the flames because they are fucking with Donald Trump. Shout out Putin. Um, but I think that it's spreading to the other states and other cities because they asked him about it yesterday at the theater, where he once again went out in public and got booed. Shout out to the people that were there to see Les Mis. But they asked him about it. He's like, "Oh, I don't know about that." Like he did his deflecting thing when he's unhappy about something. So I don't think he expected that, because if he did expect it, he'd do his whole Law and Order shtick because we've seen it a million times. He wasn't expecting that, so he went with the deflection strategy, like, "Oh, I haven't heard about that." Um, and I think that's like a great indicator, given that we know his personality and how he deals with these things now. I think that is a perfect indicator that he did not expect this, and they are a little frightened by what they're seeing in this country right now.
100%. I think they kind of expected people to go down without fighting a little bit more, but I mean, obviously, why the fuck would you expect that? I don't know. It's they're very fucking stupid, this administration. Just in certain things, like they genuinely are really fucking dumb.
100%. If there's nothing else to add on this, I think it translates perfectly. Oh, wait. Conrad, you brought this up. Like I said, we're recording this on Thursday night. Israel just attacked Iran. They have allegedly killed, who was it, Oliver?
Chief, basically the head of the Revolutionary Guard.
So, Iran is most likely about to retaliate back. They've already been strong arming the U.S. because they know that the U.S. is weak. And I think both countries are using that weak U.S. leadership as an excuse to go on a war footing. And I think India and Pakistan did something very similar. Russia and Ukraine have both gotten more brazen once Donald Trump got there, because when there's weak U.S. leadership, every other country will do what the Republicans thought happened during Joe Biden's tenure. Um, and I think that obviously given everything happening in this country, having more issues abroad as well. Because, like it as they might, the United States is deeply involved in this conflict. Um, whether they say it or not, we are deeply involved in this conflict. And like we said, these are dumb people, and it stretches their already tiny brain cells even more.
This this conflict is so weird to me. I mean, just Trump, the way Trump in general. I'm just gonna generalize it throughout the first, I guess, what 6 months so far. The way he's treated Israel has been so weird. I mean, he's still sending a shit ton of funding, but he's not. He doesn't have their back 100% of the time. I I'm very curious to see how Trump responds to this response. I think he's going to 100% back Israel. He doesn't like Iran, but a lot of people in Pete Hegseth's Pentagon aren't huge fans of Iran too. Could be the opposite. I'm not 100. I don't remember, but it's I'm very curious to see how Trump responds to this.
Dude, I don't know too much about all the influences that go into this conflict, the history of it. I know, what is it? Iran is a Shia country as opposed to Sunni.
Yep.
Iran and Saudi Arabia, they kind of butt heads a little bit because Saudi Arabia, I believe, is the Sunni country. Within Iran's organizing documents or something significant, they say they want to wipe Israel off of the, you know,
It's like the
it's
third fucking commandment in their constitution.
and it I don't I don't know, man. It just sucks that whenever people go to war.
Yeah, you
Eh,
basically hit the nail. I'm sorry.
Um, I would just like to say
Uh huh.
this is a global conflict about to happen. The first security briefing that the United States president is attending is going to be at 11 a.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that's Donald
It,
Trump for
it
you.
makes
dude,
sense, but also Joe Biden snuck into Ukraine as soon as that war started, and Trump can't stay awake past 10:30 p.m. Eastern.
Well, no,
bro,
remember,
he has to watch Fox, dude.
dude. No, actually, no. Trump's schedule is fucking weird. This is something that the media gave Joe Biden so much fucking shit for. Joe Biden he would be like, yeah, I gotta start my day around 4 o'clock. Start at 6, end at 4, right? Donald Trump did the same exact fucking schedule. No one gives him shit for that. Joe Biden does, and it's like, oh, God forbid, he's too fucking old. Donald Trump's schedule is fucking weird. He casually sends tweets out at like 3 a.m. Like, casually. He's not drinking. He's not smoking. He's just kind of fucking up at 3 a.m. What is he doing?
Well, Melania isn't there. I think we can guess what he's doing.
Dude,
Jesus.
dude, I don't know, man. I don't trust our current leadership to handle any sort of diplomatic process responsibly. I just think they're going to inflame everything.
They're
Um,
gonna fuck everything up.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and this is like, what is? How do I say this? Red hats only care about what happens to their wallet. Like, what's this going to do to the price of oil?
Yeah.
And
Price of
and
oil, price of
dude,
everything.
they're all going to become geopolitical experts, and they're going to be like, well, technically, it's not Donald Trump's fault because of this, and this. And I'm going to
Oh,
be like,
there's always an
okay,
excuse. There's always a fucking excuse. It's fucking ridiculous. And right now, gas is pretty fucking cheap, right? Right now I'm paying cheapest gas station right now in Houston for me is 249, maybe
oh, that's nice.
247. That's pretty. It's Texas, man. It's fucking beautiful, but 249 a gallon, right? I'm just curious to see how much it goes up. We're going to see.
Oil futures are already up 5%, I believe.
I believe
Of
it.
course they are.
100% believe it.
And the biggest, not a great day for our banner aviation company either.
Dude, like, we got to stop excusing bad corporate behavior, and we need to
Yes.
find some way to prosecute fucking individuals and pierce that, what is it, corporate veil. This
Yes.
is
Hmm.
bullshit. This is absolutely bullshit. I can't believe that Boeing is going to settle out of court for, like, the process is, what was it, 747 max, 7 whatever it was,
737 max.
737 max. Thank you very much, Oliver. Aren't they settling out of court for that? And they're not going to admit any wrongdoing? Like, are you
Mm-hmm.
fisting me?
Dude, it's always they the fact, and I always think back to this example of 2008 and how the people in charge of these companies that are too big to fail didn't get any real prison time. They tanked the American global economy, stole so much money, popped the biggest fucking bubble, not ever, but it's up there, right? They got away with nothing. They got away with it. Everything. Scott fucking free. If I was the president, if I was Barack Obama, just off the bat, life in prison. Just, I'm sorry. You fucked the economy. Millions of Americans are out of work because you wanted to make a few extra bucks. Just life in prison. No chance of parole, no nothing. I mean, it's bullshit. These companies know what they're doing is wrong, and they're still doing it anyway because you have a corporate friendly person in office right now in Donald Trump.
Bro, it's just inappropriate risk allocation.
Yep.
Like, the American public bears all the risk, while the people who are actually responsible for imposing all that risk onto the rest of us, they just nothing happens to them.
It's
HSBC didn't have any, like, what was this back in the mid 2010s? They didn't have any money laundering protections. They were laundering money for the Sinaloa cartel.
wild. Dude, it's
And
wild.
we fined them $2 billion, which is what they make in 2 weeks. Dude, it's a parking ticket.
What what I think another thing that needs to be done is, and I would love to see a Democrat do this. And who's the lady who was in charge of the FCC who fucking for
Lena
some reason
Khan.
Kamala Harris, Lena Khan, put her back in fucking charge.
Yep.
Stop giving out parking tickets. We need legit fines. Hit them where it hurts their fucking wallet. If you cost the American people $100 billion, well, you're gonna pay us back $100 million plus some fucking interest on top.
Dude, we don't even have to slam them with the interest. Make it the risk-free rate. Make it the T-bond return.
Yes.
10-year T-bond return.
Yeah.
That's what you do. Risk-free rate. You want to fuck around? Find out.
Exactly.
You're gonna pay back and interest. We're not going to
Everything.
kill you, but there's going to be a penalty.
Or another thing that I love, and obviously, it's never going to work in this capitalist society. You know, fuck it. If you can't pay it back, then I'm sorry. I guess the American government owns your company now. Sorry, Boeing. Sorry, Hudson's Bay Company, whatever. HBC, I don't remember the name. But sorry, you're owned by the American government. We're not going to control it. We're going to have some other people control it, but the profits are going back to the people.
100%. Also, I think it's jumped even more because now crude oil is up 10 now.
Well, I'm going to go
Lovely.
fill up my tank tomorrow, that's for sure.
Same.
That's for fucking sure.
But I think you guys are absolutely right. I also think that this is a long shot. This is, a little connection. But I genuinely think Richard Nixon getting pardoned is, like, one of the core blocks of, like, where we are today and why this happened. Because I think it made it okay to do these corrupt-ass things and get away with it.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
And I think it lowered faith in government, it lowered faith in decency, it caused more conspiracy theories alongside Vietnam. Like, Gerald Ford, probably a somewhat decent linebacker at the University of Michigan.
Elite center.
Shitty ass president. Get a backbone, bro.
So, okay. This is a topic. You know where I learned about this topic from? Fucking John Boehner's autobiography. This is where I learned this shit from. Ford never wanted to be president. His ultimate goal in life was to be Speaker of the House, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact that I love telling at parties: first president ever to never be elected by the American people, right? Because that dude from Futurama, what was it? The Spiro Agnew gets impeached. They put Ford in charge. Ford, very popular Speaker of the House at the time, was like, unite the Americans. Well, fucking Nixon resigns, so now you got Ford as president. I think, and I see the reasoning of what Ford does. He's like, we want to calm the nation. We want to just kind of not sweep this under the rug, but sweep it under the rug, pretty much. But what? Everything. The fucking consequences of what happened is fucking ridiculous. Noah, did you just buy something?
I did, in fact, just buy something.
What did you just buy?
About a book.
What book? John Boehner's autobiography?
Oh, no, what's it called?
Narrated by John Boehner himself?
Wait, okay, I might have to also buy that. No, I bought a
Listen.
book about India.
Oh, what's it called?
The Anarchy.
I need more India books.
Oh, I got you, don't worry.
Listen, send them over.
I got you. But I think this goes hand in hand with everything that's happening. New polling. Goddamn, sorry. New polling got released today, or not today, earlier this week by Quinnipiac. On Quinnipiac, thank you. On a bunch of issues regarding Trump and his handling of things. And I'll just read out the numbers really quick. 53% unfavorability to 27% favorability for the big, beautiful bill. Only 67% of GOP voters like it, 2% of Democrats, 20% of independents. Trump's job approval rating is down to 38%. Only 43% approve him on immigration, 40% on deportations, 40% on the economy, 38% approval rating on trade. 38.
Wow.
37 approval rating on universities. And the kicker, because this is one of their strongest issues on Ukraine, 34% unfavorable, or 34% favorability, 57% unfavorability.
What was the economy again?
40% approval, 56% disapproval.
Wild. Fucking wild. You lose the economy, you lose everything, man. I mean, that's
How bad do you have to be?
pretty fucking bad, apparently.
So this is what I be telling really quick.
Yeah.
This is why I've been telling all the Republican people I know that Donald Trump is doing my job for me a year in advance for me.
He is 100%. And I always have to say this when it comes to polling, especially issue polling. Issue polling doesn't fucking matter, especially this far out. It is the one issue that does matter is the economy. If people are mad about the economy, they're going to go out and vote. But Quinnipiac is a very good fucking pollster. I think it's I could be wrong. I think it's Quinnipiac, Washington Post. They were a really good pollster a couple years ago. They had a really, really, really good 2022 run. So all this polling you have to take with a massive grain of salt.
I don't know, man. I think it just gets worse.
100%. Dude, 100%.
It just gets worse. I mean, all of this chaos coming out of nowhere, like, grow up. Grow up, man. The chaos 5 years ago is because we had a global pandemic. And, like, that was hard. And I don't understand what the general population didn't get about that. It seemed like if it didn't impact them, they had no idea why like prices were if they didn't get COVID, they didn't realize number one, it was deadly and it sucked. Number two, they didn't realize like the global supply chain is extremely fragile and that you're picking cotton in the United States to be dyed like somewhere else to return to the United States so you can have like a $5 cotton t-shirt. Like, I don't think people have an appreciation of how complex and how much work it is to maintain this world. And like we're just shitting all over that right now. And it's going to get worse before it gets better because we created a system where we are the primary mover of it, I will say, like the states. And like we just can't be like, all right, we're done without some massive consequences.
Oh, 100%. And I think that we're seeing that every day. I think we're going to touch on this later, but there's a reason why 300,000 more Democrats voted in New Jersey than Republicans on Tuesday. There's a reason for that. These people, well, it's also New Jersey, but what's it called?
A competitive primary versus not very competitive primary.
Yes, for sure. There's a caveat, but also with what we saw in Wisconsin and in other places so far this year, I think it all goes hand in hand. But people are pissed off. That's why people are in the streets. That's why people are... Because, you know, the other thing that happens when people are protesting, because LA had day 7 of protests today, people aren't going to work. The economy isn't moving. That's the other thing that is very beneficial to us protesting. Because Target will never do that again.
Nope.
I mean, if they do, vote with your dollars, man.
Amen.
Like we're getting rid of Amazon Prime. Like it kind of sucks. It's really convenient, but yeah, fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Anyone who doesn't support you politically or anything like that, you can, just try to cut them off.
It's not even like support. It's just like going after the middle class's best interest.
Yep. I mean, 100%, 100%.
Yeah, like it is just. I think the other thing that I talk about all the time with the economy, a lot of it depends on the morale of the American public. You okay?
Yeah, almost shot my computer over. We're good.
Nice, nice. But the morale of the American people is a big driver in spending in this country because almost everybody on this country spends on credit instead of actual money. So a lot of it is vibes based.
How am I going to build up my points, Noah?
Exactly.
I need
live
my
in
points.
A vibes based economy. People aren't traveling. People aren't buying, they're not buying new TVs. They're not buying new cars. They're definitely not buying new houses. And I think people are being more cognizant than they have since COVID, since 2008, when they spend their money now than ever before. And we're seeing that with people dipping into their 401ks and things of that nature. It should show the Democratic establishment that they should never talk about the economy in terms of the fucking stock market ever again. That is bullshit. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why we got our ass kicked on the economy last year. But also, it should just go to show that the oligarchy that we've created in this country is just heinous. And I think it's starting to set in for more and more people as we go through the second Trump term.
100%. I mean, I think Democrats in general should just never talk about the stock market. That's not our base. Well, kinda. I mean, who knows?
I think one of the worst things not one of the worst things, right? I think mutual funds are great. They're a great investment vehicle. Put it in there, makes money, right? But so many Americans' retirements are tied to the stock market, and I don't know, man. I just feel like that's a mistake. I wish we had the ability to have a strong, what is it, support system if you were to fail. But you had a lot more opportunity to take risk for yourself. I really think about like Nassim Nicholas Taleb. I think he's the author of The Black Swan. He basically goes like, we love entrepreneurs. Most of them fail, but I want people to take those risks. I think we have a really big problem with risk allocation in this country. I think the little guy takes on all the risk. The big players, like, they get their bailouts. And I think the barriers of entry should be lowered so that way we can, I don't know, like, imagine this. If we had 10 mom and pop shops instead of one Walmart.
Yes.
You keep the cash within your own community. Things are going to be more expensive. More expensive doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. I think everyday low pricing is bullshit too. We're fucking cheap.
Yep. So, real quick, Oliver.
Yeah.
Me and Oliver just read this book, Dreamland, and it centers around Portsmouth, Ohio. It tells a story through that city and what that city went through. And one of the biggest things is that this this water park that they had for the summer where every kid would go, that went away. In came in a Walmart and strip malls, and that community culture that town had went away, and that's when the opioid epidemic completely took over that town. It ran an opioid economy where people were literally stealing shit from Walmart to get pills. And I think that the Walmartification of America and the Kardashianification of America are the two biggest drivers in where the fuck we are right now. And, people love their Walmarts. Fine. Shout out Oliver. But it's kind of ruined America.
I'm a Target guy now. I'm sorry. Them shutting down DEI really appealed to me. No. What's really funny, though, is that what you two said. It was like, listen, we need to keep this stuff local in the economy. All this stuff. Stop with the big box stores, Walmart. Everyday low prices are bullshit. That's what Trump said about tariffs. Kind of verbatim, actually.
Dude, right issue.
Yes.
Right issue. Wrong fucking solution.
Yes. Dude, he's not wrong. But why the fuck is he talking about, hey, listen, instead of owning $37, you're going to own $2 and you're going to be fucking happy about it? What the fuck are you talking about?
This is why we love him.
He's a
This
fucking
is why
idiot.
we love him.
We killed
He's a
Conrad.
dipshit.
We killed Conrad.
He's a
Dude,
dipshit.
I'm just like I'm gonna call it the war on young people, dude. This is ridiculous at this point. This is
bullshit.
absolutely they are borrowing from our future. They, meaning like the established. We have an incumbency problem. I think that's what's wrong. Well, part of what's wrong with America right now. We have an incumbency problem. The people who hold the power, they're ill-equipped to take us into the rest of the 21st century. They can't do it. All right? We all have the same experience with new technologies. So I don't care if you've been working for 40, 50 fucking years someplace. Like, we're on even footing now.
Yep.
So, like, let us take over and drive the bus of what we want in the future. Because you guys are fucking it all up.
100%.
The debt in the big beautiful bill is bullshit. It's absolute bullshit.
We're
Look, I
cutting
agree
that
though,
part out.
100%.
We're cutting that
No,
part
we are
out.
not. I 100% stand by my statement.
Okay.
Dude, I don't think
Someone
it's
is
the boomers
echoing.
anymore. I don't think it's the boomers anymore.
You don't think so?
I think it's
it
Gen
is.
X.
No, it's like it's the 50-year-olds.
Dude, free the 50-year-olds.
Yes.
No,
It's
don't
Gen
for
X,
the
man.
50-year-olds.
Dude, they are the softest generation. Everybody's against them. They've waited their turn to get these mid-level managerial spots, and it's just like, hey man, you suck. I don't know how else to tell you, but you are ill-equipped. You're not emotionally intelligent. You don't know how to work a fucking computer. Like, go home. Like, I don't care if you make more money than me, but let me make decisions about the future of like this department, this company, whatever, because you cannot fucking do it.
No, they don't know shit, and they act like they know everything.
Y'all ever seen the Gen X like Facebook posts where it's like, oh, you guys are so soft. We grew up drinking out of the hose, and
dude.
we were latchkey
I did
kids.
that shit.
Yeah, no, it's
I
like
drink
we
out
did
of the
the
hose
same
all the
thing.
time.
You raised
I
us.
love-
We did the same fucking thing as you, Gen X.
Dude,
Yeah.
what about participation trophies?
Yes!
Who do you think invented them? Was I 4 years old being like, where's my participation trophy? Man, I was just happy to be playing indoor fucking soccer.
Dude,
Yeah, exactly.
my mom
I
forced
just
me
want
to
to
do.
have fun.
My mom forced me
Yeah.
to do cross country in 4th grade. I hated cross country, and I at a certain point, I just kind of protested. I had to wake up early on Saturday, and like, dude, it was a 2-mile course. I hated that shit, so I just started walking, and it got to the point where the men would go first, the boys would go first, and then the women would go, and I would just kind of walk, and then the girls would just start passing me. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Keep going. And then at the end of the year, they gave me a participation trophy that was like, never gave up. And I was like, well, I gave up the second that race started. I did not want to be there.
I would just like to put out a PSA. If anybody on this planet currently has footage of Oliver doing cross country, can we have it, please?
My
Bro,
mom,
he was
that-
probably spitting game to the girls passing him by.
oh, fuck no. No, I was telling them to keep going. I was like, yeah, you got this.
Yo, okay. So
Do it better than me.
Wait, actually, I did do that once, Conrad. I did that during a cross country meet.
You ran cross country?
Okay, I did cross country for 1 year. I did not like it. Then I just did track because all the homies did track. So it was very fun. We also had an elite track coach. He was the bio teacher. If you ran track, you got an A in bio no matter what. I took AP bio. I missed every assignment he graded because I was in India for a month. And on the last day that the grades were due, I was like, yo, I still have a 12. And he's like, don't worry, I'll take care of it. That shit went up to a 92 by the time I got
This
home.
motherfucker.
I was having a
Based.
great time.
Based.
I love him. He said that he wanted to go out with an article, and I know that some of my classmates snooped on his phone one day. He was like, oh, it's my wife's birthday. The last purchase on Amazon was some lingerie.
It's cooking.
He also, this is not based, his wife, former student. I'll cut this
Oh, yeah,
part
you
out.
told me about this. Nah, keep this in. Keep this in.
Also said that he would go out with an article. I do think he's retired without that article, but absolute legend of it. Absolute legend. But one time during a track meet, there was like a 3,000 or no, it was a 5,000 meter race
What the fuck?
with 3 people running it. So now one of these people was from my old school, and at a prior track meet had like come up to me like, "Oh, do you remember me?" And I don't know what I was doing. I was also a dipshit because I was 15, so I was like, "Nope." But then afterwards, I was like, "Fuck, I didn't know who that was. Should have yapped." So then while she was running the 5,000 meter race, every time she would cross where me and my friends were, we'd be yapping.
Menace.
It was so funny.
Listen,
What were we
man,
talking about?
I don't remember.
I think it was. I think it was.
Participation trophies.
Yup.
Yeah,
Yup.
old people like just stealing from the future of our future. It's great.
No, it really is.
Fantastic.
And then
No,
on top of the cross country shit, again, my mom was like, "I'll give you $100 if you do it next year," and I was like, "Fuck no, no."
Oliver, that's $100.
I was in 4th grade and I knew what my time was worth.
Think
I was
about
like, no.
hey, if you bought that $100 and bought a house, think about where you'd be now.
We were poor at the time. I love my mom, love her. We did not have $100. That was serious money at the time for us. This is pre-Biden inflation.
Base.
The good old days when like a beer was like $3, $4, $5. I could take my laundry money in college and just get drunk. It was fantastic.
So based, man. I bought a pack of beer last week. Shit was $18 for 12 beers. I was like, oh,
This is why you gotta get Natty Light.
bro.
Dude, I remember drinking these things. They were Crazy Horse 40s. They were like 11% alcohol. They don't even make them anymore. They were $2, just plastered. $4, blacked out. Crazy Horse 40s. Great
Crazy
time.
Horse Ford, dude. That sounds like a fucking.
That sounds like a great time.
You're gonna have a shitty morning, but my god, that night's gonna be awesome.
But participation trophy sucked.
I loved mine. I was a big fan.
I bet you did.
Big fan
I
of my
would-
participation trophy.
I will be reaching out to people in the know and trying to get this footage.
There's probably no footage, but there's definitely photos.
Exactly. You know what? We can elongate them, live video them, if you know what I mean, and make a little iMovie for a presentation next week.
There we
I'm
go.
gonna figure out who to talk to make this happen. Actually,
Shout out Merch Mustangs. I was a Merch Mustang. We were not running like a Mustang. That was not us. This big morale guy on the team. I was like the Udonis Haslam. They kept me around for the vibes.
There we go. There we go. Dude, I've never. I have played sports where, like, you've had to. This sounds crazy, right? I enjoy swimming. That was always my thing. But like, bro, it was nice. You didn't have to talk to anybody.
I bet.
You were just like face down in a pool, like doing breath control the entire time. It was like 2 hours of like intense. I don't know, like cardiovascular yoga.
Swimming is killer, man. Intense. Yeah, I fucking bet. I hated running. I just started running 2 years ago for the first time ever. And let it be said, great exercise. Cardio legit works. But, oh my god, I hated it.
real quick, guys.
Yeah.
Slightly not fun news.
Oh.
No.
Israeli officials have said that they coordinated the entire attack with the United States.
Oh, okay. Well.
Great. Okay.
Well.
Hey,
I
that's
guess
our
I'm
peace
not going to Tel
president.
Aviv.
We just wanna not have any of these wars, because, yeah.
I'm gonna. He
He
said
was
he
the
would
pro.
end.
He was the pro peace candidate. I
He
still
was the
believe
pro
it.
peace gate. I still think
I
that he
still believe
really intended to end all wars on day one, and the woke liberal left would not let him. This is Antifa's
He
fault.
said he was going to end all wars. He never said he was going to get us into any more wars. Listen, we're expanding. This is inflation. The war inflation is real. Let my man cook.
Wait, hold up. So simultaneously shitty day for Boeing, but also good day for Boeing?
Hey, that's true. That's
Bro.
true.
Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, Raytheon.
Good
Line
day.
goes up.
Line goes
God
up.
damn.
That's all the stocks I need to know. That's all the information. Does
Dude.
line go up? No, I'm not buying it then.
Dude.
I feel like that's very sound financial advice.
I think so too.
How are we so fucking dumb? Why are we here?
Because-
Why are we here?
Gerald Ford.
Gerald
Actually,
Ford.
Spiro Agnew for being
I
a
blame
corrupt
Sarah.
dickhead.
I feel like that's a very square one. I blame Sarah Palin personally.
I agree.
Sarah, we're not in this situation if they let John McCain pick fucking Joe Lieberman, okay? Why didn't you let it pick Joe Lieberman? Oh, he ran with fucking Al Gore in 2000. It doesn't matter. He wasn't a Democrat anymore. Let him pick Joe Lieberman.
Dude, this is like it would be nice to be in my prime earning years. Prime earning.
That would be fucking nice.
That would be
It
that
would
would
be
be
nice.
kind of nice.
Amen, brother. I wish.
That would be nice. It would be nice. And I'm not gonna be prime earning, and it's gonna be great because I get to hear all the older people in my life tell me like, "Oh, you just wait, it's fine."
Just buy
Oh,
a boat,
bunch
man.
of-
You'll
The
figure
whole
it out
bunch of
later.
crazy things happen. Like I bought my house when I was 19 for a fucking quarter, but if you just pay your dues, you'll be fine. And I'm like, dude, I don't know how many more dues or like how much more I have to like. I feel like I have to like show these. I have to start out these conversations being like, I am a hard worker. All right.
Yes.
I have swam 20 fucking miles across Lake Erie. I have swam 12 miles in 65-degree water from California to Nevada in
Yo.
Lake Tahoe. Okay, I know how to put in a hard day's work, and I have been putting them in day after day. And I'm telling you, I'm smart. You're gonna have to take that. I have no proof of that.
Listen, man.
Maybe I do, like right there. But like, your Fox News education is fine. But like, god damn it, like, stop,
You
please.
should have bought a
Um,
house. You should have bought a house in '91, Conrad. I'm sorry. You should
Dude,
have
I was
bought.
born in '92.
Well,
Conrad-
listen. You should have. You should have fucking bought it then. I'm sorry. I regret not buying a house in 2009. I was
Me
8.
too. I was 7.
Someone is echoing. I don't know who. But
Dude, I'm
listen,
sorry. I'm like shouting on this one.
No,
but
no, fuck it.
this
We're
is
having fun.
awesome.
ridiculous. This
No
is
one.
ridiculous.
You should have. You also should have bought a house in 09.
I agree, man. I really think I should have bought a house in 91, though. I feel
My
like
mom-
I really...
My mom's biggest regret is in DC. We have these row homes. She wanted to buy a row home in Mount Pleasant. If you know Mount Pleasant, back then it used to be the hood. She grew up there, right? You know, DC, love DC. We're the bullet capital of the world, murder capital of the world. That's when she grew up in DC. That's her DC, right? But she grew up in Mount Pleasant. Her neighbor was a brothel. Her other neighbor was a crack house. So she was going to buy a row home here for like $100,000. You know, if she bought that shit, it would have been worth $1.5 million today. She didn't buy it, though. That's her biggest regret in life. And you know what? I don't blame her. I'd be sad, too.
Base. That's hilarious.
Shout
Dude,
out
so-
boomers.
What is it?
Shout
The
out boomers.
TLDR? Like, fuck old people.
Fuck old people. Yeah, that's
I
the
agree.
section.
It like
I agree.
if you're not here to what is it, plant trees, which you won't enjoy the shade or you won't sit under the shade, whatever the expression is, like, what are you doing here?
If you're
You're-
not here knocking doors, fuck you. You're
Yeah.
not doing shit. Your
Yeah.
ass can't work a cell phone, but your ass can walk. Barely. Barely. Conrad, I've seen the people in Erie. I go
Dude.
down State Street. I guarantee you I'm seeing 5 people on a mobility scooter. They can't even walk anymore.
We do have extremely high obesity rates, and like, dude,
They're not even fat. That's the problem. They're skinny on mobility scooters. What the fuck is that?
oh man,
Noah, I know your ass has almost gotten hit by one of those people. They're fucking. What's going on in Erie? We gotta bring Daria on. We gotta ask her.
The last time I was there was a guy taking up the entire left lane on a mobility scooter.
Dude, no.
Are they given out by the city of Erie?
I think so.
Or is this like a Medicaid thing?
This is why we need to end Medicaid funding.
You know, yeah, honestly, let's look this up. Does Erie...
Why does Erie have so many scooters?
Free mobility scooters.
You got through that very well. I'm proud of you, Oliver.
Okay, Erie Insurance does not give away free mobility scooters, but...
I probably could have told you that. Just look in the good old policy jacket. Oh, wait, I can, because we're hacked.
Fuck it, man. What did you do to Iran, Conrad? What did you say?
Dude, like, here's... Okay, again, we talked about this a little bit, but, like, tinfoil hat, again, I think there is a coordinated cyber attack going on to further destabilize us, and that is also... Bro, like, do you guys ever feel just, like, what are we living through right now?
Shenanigans.
Like, is this going to be the shenanigan period, like the roaring 20s? Like, there is no roaring. Like, these 20s suck.
Hold on. The city of Erie does not give away free scooters, but they have a pilot program giving away scooters. They have a pilot program. So I guess they're all on fucking State Street being lazy. They're not even, they're lazy. That's what I say.
Ooh,
It's
what's
insane. The Oilers are winning. The Florida Panthers have blown another 3-0 lead against the Oilers in the finals. Let's go. Go Oilers. Also, Israel just struck again, bombing residential areas in Tehran.
My trip to Tehran is looking in jeopardy right now. I can go to Tehran very easily, apparently, by the way. Very easily.
I bet you.
Really?
Yeah,
I
just
bet you
need
can.
Turkish
I bet you
citizenship.
know some people there.
No, okay, I don't. But
bet you know
Turkish
some people
passport, you can enter Iran with no visa.
Mm.
So I just need to get my Turkish citizenship, which is not going to happen for a while. 6 months. Shout out Turkey.
Shout out Turkey.
Shout out Erdogan, man. 12 more years.
No, dude.
You know what?
All right, what's
12 more
bridges.
years of Modi. 12 more years of Modi.
More bridges. Erdogan loves building bridges. Let's build some more.
Modi loves building airports.
Let's build some more.
Let's build some more. But going, getting back into it. New Jersey, Mikey Sherrill won the Democratic primary very quickly. Within a half hour, it was called. Same thing with Jack Ciattarelli. Very anticlimactic voting day, which will take. Some things of note: 300,000 more voters in the Democratic primary than the Republican primary, which we talked about. Much more competitive race, or so it seemed. And also, just a lot better candidates running, because, Bill Spadia can go wither away now that he lost again.
So I wanted to look up a fact about Mikey Sherrill. Sad news, she is not Italian. I think she will be losing this race to Jack Ciattarelli.
Bro.
Ciattarelli's strong Italian name.
You know what? That is my biggest concern as well. However, she has the Giants' endorsement, because, Tiki Barber, while very problematic, beloved by the Italians in North Jersey.
That's not the problem. No, she needs to win South. Her biggest struggle was South Jersey, it looked like. She needs to win South Jersey. Now, Conrad, I have a question for you. Mm-hmm. Are you Italian, perchance? Do you know where you're from?
No Italian.
No, that's disappointing. Disappointing.
No, so...
What about you, man?
I think... Maybe.
A little bit. Apparently, I'm a little Italian, too. I can see it.
Susie and I did this, the 23andMe, and then we had to hurry up and delete all our data, which probably isn't deleted. but again, like my company's hacked, so like our data's everywhere at this point. Who cares? Um, but a little like I'm an Eastern European mutt
Oh,
and a little bit of Irish and English.
hey, if you have great grandparents from Hungary, they're very generous with the citizenship. Hungary and Poland,
Really, Poland? Well,
very
great,
very generous.
dude. I think I'm. It's not my great grandparents, but my great great grandparents. Those were the ones that came off the boat.
So
Because my mom does genealogy, and like she'll find the documents with Ellis Island and shit like
oh
that. Like we're from Leitrim, Ireland.
oh
Like she nails it down, tries to find like foreign documents and shit. It's kind of fascinating
That's
how
kind
much
of
effort.
cool.
that's
Yeah.
what we are trying to. Well, that's what my dad's gonna try to do. So
That's
apparently
awesome.
Bulgarian is Turks. We owned that whole fucking region of Europe for a really long time. So apparently, if you have Bulgarian great grandparents, you can automatically get Bulgarian citizenship, right? Well, my dad's great grandparents are Bulgarian, both of them. So we're like, fuck it, that's EU citizenship right there, man.
That's based.
I love how we got to this conversation about talking about Mikey Sherrill. Yeah, I
Yep.
know. Good race on her, man. But
I think that we have our first polling out already as well. They ran this at the end of May. Mikey Sherrill was up 14 with 12% undecided, and she also, which I know I told Oliver about this, 12% of people that voted for Trump are planning on voting for Mikey Sherrill,
Hmm.
which I think that's super interesting. She's only down 2% with men. She's up 17% with women, or maybe 27, one of the two. Um, and I think that as of right now, the way things look, and we talked about it, I think it's only going to get worse for Republicans, especially when Jack Ciattarelli's entire platform is Donald Trump likes me and I don't like pronouns. Um, I think that
hey, listen,
if things
it
keep
works.
going the way that they are, Mikey Sherrill is in a very good spot for November.
I think she's gonna win. I think the question is how much she's gonna win by. Obviously it's an off year election with a what was that
30.
30. Okay, I don't think she wins by 30. Not at all. I'm actually going to be closer to like 5 or 6 was my guess. I said 7 with you. I actually think 7's probably a good number. Um, my what I'm very curious to see is how basically minority voters end up shaking out in this election. I think that was the biggest loser of New Jersey and why it got so close near the end of election day 2024 is because we lost so many what was it? We lost a lot of Hispanic voters, lost a lot of black men, stuff like that. I'm very curious to see how that shakes out. But hey, who the fuck knows?
That's fair.
Conrad?
I do think really quick that in that first initial poll, among minorities, she was back up to normal Democratic levels.
Again, it is only June.
It is
Polling
only
this
June.
early does not fucking matter.
I
and I
agree
hate
with
that.
you. I'm just saying.
I know, and it's always fun to look at. As a poll guy, former rider of the polar coaster, I listen to 538 every week. God bless Galen Druk and Nate Silver. R.I.P. my gay kings. But they would always tell people polling does not matter this early ahead. It's just a snapshot. Never look at polling this early unless if it's a primary. If it's a primary, then take a look.
No, that's completely fair.
Damn.
I also think, obviously relates to what is happening in the city of New York. Once again, polling is the only real thing that we can go off of right now. Do with that what you will, but Zoran Mamdani, according to the latest polling, has pulled ahead. It is within the margin of error. However, I do think it's a really good sign in a local election that infrequent of polling, that polls are showing him ahead. I also think if you just look at internet momentum, obviously he is the most popular candidate on the internet, with a lot of young people being very motivated to get him in charge. Hopefully that can translate, and these people are going out and knocking doors and doing events every day. So he does have a very big volunteer base. we just, the New York political machine is also a very strong one. Andrew Cuomo, very big part of said political machine, to the point where, as Oliver mentioned, like I think 2 weeks ago or last week, he's already on the ballot for November.
He's running no matter what. Um, just mentioning polling. Yeah, this is a time where polling really does matter. We're about a week out from election day. Um, I will say too, with this election, what's going to really benefit Zoran is even even at first ballot, if he's not at 51%, that's good enough. He really benefits once those ballots get down to the second, third, fourth vote, because they do ranked choice voting, right? Once he gets down to those levels, because a lot of progressives aren't going to rank Cuomo, is what it's looking like. So they'll rank maybe someone else, Scott Stringer at number one. Who's that lady? I can't remember her name. Adams at number two, and then they'll have Zoran at number three. Well, that third level, it's going to look pretty good for Zoran, I think, against Cuomo. So I'm very curious to see how that shakes out, I guess. I like everyone else. Conrad, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, I mean, we have to stop electing the same type of people.
Yes.
At a certain point, the populace has to look at themselves in the mirror and take responsibility for where we're at. And if we keep repeating the same mistake over and over and over, like, it's our own damn fault. And I think,
100%.
what? Try something different. You want something different? Try something different. Trump's already been tried. Cuomo's already been, like, these. You know what you're gonna get, and I guess there's comfort in that. But it also sucks.
I mean, I will say, the attack ad that they are running on Zoran, saw it today. They ran it twice in like 10 minutes of Jeopardy. Good attack ad.
What was the ad? Was it wait, hold on, let me guess. My man has only been in politics for about 10 minutes and he hates Israel. No, what was it?
Wants to put the homeless people on the subways.
Okay.
And bad on the economies, I think, was the second issue. But they were really hitting him on the subway thing.
I think
Which I would once again, I went on the New York City subway on Monday. I would once again like to say, beautiful. For how big it is and like the amount of shit that's talked about it, phenomenal experience.
I'm gonna take you on the DC Metro. Shit's gonna change your life. It's going to change your fucking life.
That is still better.
Fuck you. I think too, but what I'm very, I don't know. I'm curious to see how it shakes out. I've been saying this forever, but another thing that's very interesting right now is why Zoran was struggling so much was he wasn't winning enough minority voters. Hispanic people and black people didn't know who the fuck he was. Well, now they're starting to know him. They're like, hey, I actually like the guy. He's going to freeze my rent? Dude, that's fucking sick. So I think that right now is really helping him. He's getting his name out there at the perfect fucking time. He is peaking at a really good time. I still think it's a long shot for him to win, but listen, these odds keep getting better and better and better.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah, if that's it, do we want to get into the topic that I've been waiting to talk about all day with Oliver? Especially Oliver. Conrad, me and Oliver have been going back and forth for the last 2 days about the Club World Cup and like the World Cup in general and like how we're going to handle with it. I have a much more pessimistic opinion on this than Oliver. Actually, I made a video about it today that people should go watch, but
go watch
we want to talk about it and obviously get your take as well, because I think it's going to be a very interesting month in America coming up. Obviously for all the other reasons, but I think this is very intriguing from like a sports' role in all of this as well.
Before you explain anything, I want to ask Conrad something.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of the Club World Cup?
The Club World Cup. What I just context clues.
Yeah.
All right, we're talking about soccer.
Yes.
Okay, we're talking about soccer, and these would be, I would say, like Manchester United, like big clubs, Real Madrid. I don't know who's in there.
Yeah.
But you're looking at like La Liga, the Premier League, Bundesliga. I don't know what the French league or the Italian
Uber
leagues.
Eats League 1.
But like the elite they're going to compete in a bracket style event.
Exactly. Okay. Before I just mentioned this to you, have you ever heard of the Club World Cup?
So, yes, but
Okay.
I am pretty unfamiliar with it
Okay.
overall.
Fair enough. Noah, start your point right now.
Well, so I would just like to say, I have forever maintained that part of the reason why the Club World Cup will be what it is because people don't know about it. And as I said in that YouTube video today, it does kind of give off like an NBA in-season tournament vibe, where it's just there to make FIFA more money. Because the players are not happy with it. The players' unions in England and France have already been complaining about this for 2 years now. Also, the Global Union for Soccer Players filed a complaint with the European Commission, which is the executive arm of EU,
Libs.
at the workload for the players, because it is a lot of soccer, because the season just ended 2 weeks ago for all the European players. They've got 1 week's rest, and now they have to come out here. Fully agree with all of that. My take is that this is round 2 that we get to prove ourselves before the big thing happens. And last year with Copa America, which is a very big event, which has a lot of publicity, broadcasted on Fox, not the Zone, it was a shit show. Our field conditions sucked. Our logistics sucked to get people into the stadium and just to get people to the stadium because people don't build enough fucking trains. There we go. Mentioned it on the podcast again within an hour and 2 minutes.
Gotta get it
Let's
there
go.
once.
Got to get it there every time.
Gotta get it once.
And on top of that, the final that happened in Miami last year, I remember it was the middle of the night in Prague, and I was trying to stay awake for it. Oliver, shut up. I was trying to stay awake for it, and I just keep getting these alerts that it's been delayed and delayed and delayed. Then I start seeing video of what's happening. I'm like, holy fucking shit. They completely overran the stadium because security fucked it up. This is our chance at a much lower stakes level because it's not as popular and because it's a new thing, and it won't be as widely attended. There won't be as many just fans in general to be in the country for it outside of the stadiums. This is our dry run, round 2. This is GOTV dry run 2 for the United States of America to get this shit figured out. And once again, it looks like we're fucking it up because we can't even sell tickets to go see Messi play.
Okay.
Damn.
Fair point. Fair point. America, tipping master, fucking it up. Now, how I would like to respond to this is, as previously stated, no one really knows what the fuck the Club World Cup is. No offense, not that many people are going to travel to see the Club World Cup. And Connor, you kind of hit the nail on what it is. It's Bundesliga, La Liga, all these major teams from major countries, their biggest teams, go. If you've won the former, the Club World Cup in the past, right? Or like a Champions League, African Champions League, you get to come to America, compete, and then you're the number 1 team in the world, right? I think the problem is, I do think Donald Trump's deportation shit is a big problem. I think that the fact that they're saying ICE is going to be at all these games is scary as shit. I don't think that's the reason a lot of people are coming. I think the reason a lot of people aren't coming is because people don't know what it is. FIFA did a terrible job of marketing it. And I would like to say with the Copa America thing, that what happened at the Copa America final seemed to be a very isolated event in Miami. It seemed like Miami had a terrible, terrible Copa America final. Because I went to a Copa America game in Houston. It went smoothly. There was no delays. There was no problem. No, nothing like that. I genuinely think America is going to host an Elite World Cup. I think Russia hosted an Elite World Cup. I think America can host a better World Cup. I think we saw Qatar do it. And Qatar is had much bigger issues than we did. I think the problem with the Club World Cup is no one knows what the fuck it is. No one really wants to see Messi play the best team in Egypt. And I love soccer, but I don't really want to see Messi play the best team in Egypt either. Also, there's still the chance Messi won't even play in this game. I don't know. I think it's failing for a lot of reasons, and I think reason number 1 is FIFA being stupid and trying to make tickets way more expensive than they have to be.
I agree with you. Now, on the tickets, they've decided to try out a dynamic pricing model where if it's a game that a lot of people want to go to, such as, I'll use PSG versus Atletico Madrid, the Ticketmaster will price those tickets at like 150, 160. And if it's a game that no one wants to go to, say Bayern Munich versus Auckland City FC from New Zealand, where the players are semi-pro and some of them are literally plumbers.
Don't trash Auckland FC.
I'm not.
Auckland City FC.
Auckland
There is
City
an Auckland
FC.
FC, by the way. Auckland City.
Auckland City FC.
There's 2 teams in Auckland. But
right? But for those games, the tickets can be like $5, $10, a little bit higher, obviously, if they want to make some money. I agree with you. I think that we would have still had I would have still had this opinion that I am scared as to how America is going to deal with it. Because I don't think what happened at the final was an isolated incident of like... Because I'm going to categorize that into not being able to do crowd control. Well,
yes.
Right?
That
Remember in the semifinal when the players literally went into the crowd and started fist fighting?
Yeah. But that was...
We had the Malice in the Bells equivalent of a soccer game.
That was specifically a Miami problem, though.
No, it wasn't. That game wasn't in Miami.
Where was it?
That semifinal,
I swear it was in Miami. I thought it was in
Was
Miami.
that the U.S.-Mexico game?
No,
that was
like
Canada. No, Uruguay versus Canada or something like that.
Jesus, man.
Yeah, no. I swear that one was in Miami. Because I remember this being very specific to a Miami issue. Because...
Charlotte, North Carolina. So Uruguay lost 1-0 to Colombia, and then the Uruguayan players went into the stands and started fighting fans at the stadium.
Oh, this is the one where Darwin Núñez punched somebody.
Yup.
Shout out Darwin.
Yup. Shout out Liverpool legend Darwin Núñez.
Noah, did I ever show you my favorite jersey of all time?
No. Yeah, maybe. While he's gone, I would just like to say I think I win the argument because he got up and left. I'd just like to say that before Oliver hears it. That's a sick jersey.
My GOAT Darwin.
That's a sick jersey.
My GOAT Darwin Núñez.
Right? I just think that there were a lot of instances last year where we looked Bush League, and I think the ice thing is going to make it look Bush League again. And I also think logistically, we are not prepared for it. And I do think that if we had better leadership, we would be in a much better spot with infrastructure to be ready for the World Cup and then the Olympics right after that in LA. And I don't think we're there.
I think blaming Trump for the logistics issue is actually kind of short-sighted. I think Biden had 4 years. But as well as that, though,
I would like to say, infrastructure plan... New terminal in Newark, new terminals at JFK.
That's not going to help the World Cup, though.
Yes, it is. Where are these people going to fly in and out of?
Dude, it took how many years to build LaGuardia?
I mean, Terminal A is built up and ready to go at Newark Airport.
Is it really?
Where the final is. Yes, Terminal A is running. All domestic flights and Canadian flights land in Terminal A now.
Nice. When they start construction?
I don't know when exactly construction started. It finished like last year. Also, we have the tunnels that are being constructed to make train travel easier between New York and New Jersey. The Hudson River tunnels are being constructed right now. I just think that obviously Biden could have done more, way more.
Construction started in 2018. That was not Joe Biden.
I'm just saying that they had these.
I know.
You know, right? Like I said, I would have these concerns if Kamala Harris was president too.
I agree.
Because this is just a United States problem, because we don't host world events. We have not hosted a world event in our lifetime. Because I think this is a big distinction. The Super Bowl, the March Madness finals, the Final Four, the Super Bowl, the NBA finals, the World Series, a lot of these things are corporate now. We do not have unruly drunk fans. When Germany hosted the World Cup, or the Euros last year, the trains ran on time. Everything went smoothly. They had really good security everywhere. But they also took care of the little shit. Like where the England fans were, they stopped selling alcohol at halftime for a reason because it's the England fans.
Yeah.
And they had policies in place for that. I think we are in a position to work with FIFA on that because FIFA's also stupid.
I think we are in a position to work with FIFA on that. I think as well as that too, though, are we going to ignore that Russia doesn't basically for a lot of places doesn't have public transportation? I mean, yeah, if you're in Moscow, dude, amazing. St. Petersburg, amazing. But like their public transportation isn't that badly, and we need public transportation. 100% agree with you, but I think as a country as a whole, we're gonna lock in on this. I think we'll be fine. We're able to host events like this a lot. We have countless global summits. People come to America and are able to get around pretty fine. Worst comes to worst, there's gonna be a lot of rental cars out and about. There's gonna be a lot more buses. But I think, and plus two, a lot of cities that are hosting World Cup events have pretty good public transportation. Not elite, but pretty good.
Right. I think it's the combination of all those three, of everything, that concerns me. Because I think, yes, ease of travel in this country is pretty good. But now you have delayed airports because of real IDs, and people are going to be very, very, very tightly monitored because of ICE and because of this administration's stance on not... Hear me out for a second.
Yeah.
Then you have the same people at the games doing security. How long do you think it's going to take? Because the average American is not about to go watch Iran play, I don't know, the Netherlands.
I would 100% would go see
I
Iran.
would go watch...
Iran is a very good soccer team, by the way.
Yes.
But
I would just like to state, I am excited to watch the Club World Cup because I'm a nerd. I'm excited. I have been looking forward to the actual World Cup being in this country for the last decade. I have been waiting for it. The fact that the World Cup final is happening 40 minutes from where I'm going to sleep today is like unfathomable to think of. I don't want this to be a failure. I'm just saying, given our track record at soccer tournaments, something always goes wrong. Bless you.
Thank you. The track record of the 1994 World Cup, which is probably the most successful World Cup of all time.
Oh, no, Brazil 2014 was pretty awesome.
It's out there, man. The 94 World Cup.
1994 is a much different situation than wherever you are now.
Public transport was worse.
All of our infrastructure is the same, though.
Listen.
Also, air travel in this country. It keeps fucking up right now.
No, it does. Oh, yes, but it fucks up more other places. Are we going to act like air travel? No. Yes, it's not great, but it's not fucking up that much.
When was the last
It's
time
not a
plane...
concern.
I just think that
air
there's
travel
a lot
is
of
not
shit.
a concern. Also, hold on. I would like to acknowledge your point and the how long it's going to take to get in the stadium. It's going to take as long as it normally takes to get into a stadium. You remember the Guardians game we went to? Dude, it was a playoff game. It took us 10 minutes to get in max. I think it's going to take about 10 minutes still. I think these are very real concerns to have, right? What the fuck is the Trump administration going to do about this? How are they going to police it? That being said, though, I think they're going to police it like they police most other games. I don't think they're going to specifically go out of their way to look for illegal immigrants. That being said, too, I don't think a lot of illegal immigrants have the capital to go to a World Cup match.
The thing is, if ICE was only deporting illegal immigrants as they are supposed to, I'd agree with you.
I agree.
But today, I don't know if y'all saw this one, a 9-month pregnant U.S. citizen was shot by ICE today.
Oh, fuck. I did not see that.
Yup. Like, they shot her, forced her to the ground. She ended up having to go to the hospital. I agree
Hold on.
with you. And like I said.
I have a fucked up question.
Yes.
Okay. In the state of Texas, a woman with a baby can go into a carpool lane, right? It's two people. So that baby is a sentient person, right? Let's say a lady is undocumented in this nation. She's pregnant, though. That baby's being born in America. Would that make her, for those 9 months, an American citizen?
Bro, the logic is there, but I'm telling you, they don't give a fuck. Like a lady was in, like, right in Texas, the high occupancy vehicle lane, right?
Yeah.
She drove there knowing because
she's pregnant.
That's
a Houston story.
If that is a child and not a fetus, then we are treating it as a 100% person, then yeah, two people occupy this vehicle, bro. Yeah, I mean the logic's there, Oliver. I'm not gonna lie, man, but like they're not gonna care.
Listen, it's a part of herself. That now the only semantics issue is that baby isn't born yet, but the baby is there. Therefore, the baby is being planned to be born in America, which means that baby is an American citizen, which means that mom is an American citizen. Go get her a passport. I think I cooked. Now, that being said about FIFA,
Very
fair concerns.
I think that my take as of right now, 2 days before the first game, is once again what matters more to the Gianni Infantinos of the world: how much money they make off of this.
They're gonna make so much fucking money from an America World Cup, bro. They're gonna make
No.
so much
I'm talking
money.
I'm talking about this. I'm talking about this year. I'm talking
Oh,
about.
they're not gonna make any money.
This is going to be a commercial disaster, and especially for Infantino, because this has been like his brainchild and his vision for like the last decade since he took over. This has been the thing that he's wanted to do the most. This is like his decision making, his ideas that are going forth and making this happen. I don't know, dude. I think from a commercial standpoint, I think for a lot of reasons, I don't know how this will play out given everything else that is happening in society right now. Like I said, though, I am personally excited to watch the actual soccer, and I hope it goes well because I want the World Cup to go well next year. Because I don't want my country to look bad on a world stage and look worse than the Qatars and Russias of the world, because that'd be really fucking embarrassing.
I think the Club World Cup is just in general was such a
It's a
stupid
dumbass
fucking
idea.
premise. No, actually, it's a cool premise. Very cool premise. Terribly executed. Like, what the fuck are they thinking about?
But even, I don't think so. I think
No.
the execution... Okay, what was bad in the execution?
Bro, the amount of money tickets are, first thing, they have to slash prices. There was no marketing for it at all until like maybe a month ago. I totally forgot this was happening until like 2 months ago, right? I saw that
Didn't even know it was happening.
Exactly.
So
just the marketing is terrible.
I do
no
have
offense,
a theory.
If they were to have advertised it way better, like, hey, Real Madrid is playing in your city. Real Madrid is coming to America, and not the bullshit number 2 squad. This is the real team. You're going to see Vinicius Jr. You're going to see Jude Bellingham. You're going to see Arda Güler. I think they would have sold so many tickets. They didn't do that, though. They were like,
when?
Club World Cup.
Right? I fully agree with you on that, because the other thing is when those B-rate squads come over in August for like their preseason games every year, they sell out stadiums, right? I do agree with you, but also, this is another little caveat to this. The day of the election, so the morning of the election, that Tuesday in November, The Athletic published an article talking about and interviewing sources within FIFA and other soccer communities. FIFA was not prepared for Donald Trump to come back. FIFA did give out the World Cup to us during Donald Trump's presidency, right? But this is after like the Clintons were heavily involved. Other people were very heavily involved in those bids. Think about it. That's 2018 when they award it. Even if Trump wins two...
Hold on. I thought they award... Yeah, no, wait, never mind. I'm tripping. Right? Keep going.
Even if Trump wins 2 terms, he's out by 24. They never expected him to be president during the FIFA World Cup, the Club World Cup, or the Olympics for that matter. FIFA and the IOC did not expect him to be president then.
FIFA...
Now, that is stupid.
And I think you know this, man.
They're
is a stupid organization.
Yes.
That has no clue what's going on anywhere.
Yes. However, I think maybe a reason where their marketing was not where it was is because of those factors. Because it took a long time for Infantino to get
I think FIFA's just a stupid organization.
Well, that too. I'm just saying they were not prepared for Donald to win.
Listen, I agree. I don't think they were prepared, but I don't think that really plays a major factor into this. I think they're just stupid.
That's why they didn't market it until they knew more of what was happening.
Because they didn't. They corrupt ass dude. Shout out Seth Blatter.
Shout out Seth Blatter.
Yeah.
Bring back Seth Blatter.
I would like to say I think Gianni Infantino is somehow more corrupt than Seth Blatter was.
Listen, we'll have him in a corrupt off. But look, dude, there was no marketing. They didn't market it. I didn't know Real Madrid was coming. Dude, okay, Noah. Let's say you remembered back in September, we'll say October, right? You're in Erie. You're getting a pretty damn good check every week, right? Your ass would have bought a plane ticket to Cincinnati to see Bayern Munich play.
Yes, I did also know that it was happening.
I did not. And I think me and you were on the same level of soccer fandom, right? I would say right now you're probably higher than me. You know more shit than me right now. But we're pretty big soccer fans. We love the sport. I genuinely, I'm going to watch the games. I don't really care what happens though, unfortunately. I'm more interested in the other tournament. The what was it, the Gold Cup?
Yeah.
I'm more interested in the Gold Cup.
Right. See, but I think even with that, like, I think all of the, I don't know, dude. I don't trust his ability.
Trump either. Trump's an idiot, but I think he's not going to meddle in it. I don't think FIFA does. I don't think Trump meddles, and it's unfortunate as it is. Donald Trump is a good businessman, and Donald Trump is a phenomenal at making press. Right. That man will do anything, and he's in the news for at least 24 hours. I think Donald Trump, if anything, I'm going to give you a hot take. I think he benefits the World Cup, if anything. I think it's going to get more eyes on the screen. More people are going to watch it just to see Donald Trump do his little stupid dance.
I do think, like, if the regular World Cup was happening right now, it would be phenomenal for him. Because it would be the biggest distraction of all time.
Oh, dude, it's going to be amazing for him next year. Midterms.
That is true. I agree. I would like to say one thing, though. Mexico City hosted the Olympics in the 80s. I believe it was 80 or 1976. 3 days before the opening ceremony started, tanks were in the streets against protesters. And that kind of derailed the IOC for a little bit until LA stepped in and saved their ass, which they are doing again in 2028. I am just saying that when we talk about, like, failed hosting situations, given how he reacts to protests, I don't think these protests are stopping. I think this is going to be a continuous thing.
Brother.
Not like every single
Brother, it was in Russia and Qatar.
Yeah, they
cut people's hands off in Qatar.
Yeah, but they don't have Twitter in Qatar.
No, they don't give a shit about how they treat protesters. This is FIFA. FIFA wants to make the most money possible. They're going to make way more money doing the World Cup in fucking America than anywhere else. They don't care. They're evil. I don't care about that. They're fucking evil. They're more evil than Donald Trump, in fact.
Oliver, I agree with you. I'm not saying that this is bad for FIFA. I know FIFA doesn't give a shit. The people that are going to come to this country that are going to make us money off of it,
they don't care.
Yes, they do.
They're going either way.
Yes, they do.
They're going either way.
Yes, no, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Yes,
Tourism is already down. No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
In spite of the Gold Cup, in spite of the
no one gives a shit about the Gold Cup or the FIFA World Cup.
In spite of everything, tourism is down 13 bill.
No, fair enough. It is definitely down.
In spite
that shit's going to shoot back up next year, though.
I don't think it will.
It's the World Cup.
I know people that aren't coming anymore.
I would say
I know people that aren't coming anymore.
There will have to be an impact where some people are not going to take the risk.
I agree.
And especially too, this is not settled yet, where the obvious human rights abuses that are happening now, and then flaunting it on social media, saying, hey, if you don't come here and have your paperwork in order, bro, like, yes, some people will come here, but if you are, I don't want to say a middle-class person, I don't even know who goes to the World Cup. It only seems like it would be...
It's everyone. Literally everyone. No matter economic status.
Here's the thing.
Here's
the other thing.
But hold on.
Flying to America is so fucking expensive, and then on top of that, hotel, rental car, the actual game.
It doesn't matter.
People are
going to spend that money. They're going to spend that money, though. Did you hear the story of the Mexican guy? Literally told his wife he was going to go to the supermarket to get some beer, right? He flies to fucking Russia with his friends to watch Mexico play in Russia. I think we're underestimating how globally wide the World Cup is and how huge of an event this is,
So
people are going to spend the
I
fucking
think
money. Dude, Qatar.
I think you're no. Hear me out. I think you're underestimating the amount of countries that already fucking hated this country and were worried of coming to this country for how they've
think
been
we're
treated
overestimating
before.
it.
Hear me
in
out
fact.
for a second. And I'm talking about Europeans. I'm talking about people in South America. Obviously people in Africa. Obviously people in the Middle East. These countries are already on travel bans. How are their fans going to get here when they're not allowed to enter this country?
A lot of the countries in the travel bans are not particularly good at soccer.
Iran, Venezuela's going to be here for the Gold Cup.
Oh,
Haiti's
shit,
going to be here for the
actually.
Gold Cup. Yeah.
Wait, who's?
How are they
Hold on,
going
let's look
to
at the travel
come?
ban. Let's look at the travel ban. Hold on.
Haiti, Venezuela, for sure are in the Gold Cup. Iran is definitely in the World Cup.
I think
They
Haitian
qualified
fans
already.
are probably not going to show up to the games either way. So
So
are Venezuelan fans. But
I
no,
don't know.
I
dude.
see your point.
I think
I
that's
see
a
the
massive
point.
rationalization.
I see the point. I still don't think it's going to affect it. I think
I think-
it's such a global event. It happens once every 4 years. I think people are willing to overlook the upside.
So
I think
this is the okay.
people are dumb
Also,
overall.
what is the biggest sector of fans for any sport? It's the young people, right? Especially soccer, because you can play it everywhere. The biggest soccer fans I know are my age or younger, or maybe a few years older.
But that's
Gen Z.
specifically an America
Here-
thing, though.
Okay, no, I'm talking about globally too. Like, I mean, I know people like India's soccer is also the biggest sport in India, but like, no adult watches soccer in India because they'll watch it, but they're all more cricket fans instead. I think that young people's eyes were opened up in Russia and in Qatar, and now they are aware of the shit that happens in these countries, and I think they also put up with it a lot less as a whole. A lot of people will still go. There's 8 billion fucking people in the world. A lot of people are still gonna come. I think it will be much lower than what would have happened in a normal.
The average age of the average Premier League match going fan is 41. The average
So
age
that's
in
match
America.
going.
Yeah, but people who are willing to actually spend the money and show up.
Match going.
Yeah, people who are actually willing to spend the money and show up.
I think the old people.
Young people are not going to travel halfway across the world to go watch their favorite soccer team, though. And dude, I'm not traveling to London to see the Eagles play. There, maybe a few of the rich ones, but the rich ones aren't going to care about the political issues. They're not going to be the ones hassled. I see your point, too. A lot of the poor people from the third world countries, they are going to 100% be hassled. There's going to be an issue. ICE is going to be rampant. But I think they're going to overlook that and be like, hey, this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. I'm never going to see Uzbekistan play in the World Cup again. I'm going to America to see them play for the first time.
Right? So here's two caveats for you. One, I think the Club World Cup will be important in some facets for next year is that I definitely think we're going to see those ICE instances this year at the Club World. I think we'll see them on Saturday. I think they're going to rough up some people getting into that stadium in Miami. The other thing, for a lot of these smaller teams that are never going to make the World Cup again, you know where they're going to be playing? Canada and Mexico. And I think people are going to go to those games more than they come to ours.
That's bullshit. I'm sorry. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
No, it's not.
No,
it's not.
More people are going to come to America to see American, because you go to America, that's a family vacation. I'm sorry.
Not anymore.
No one from Uzbekistan is going to Canada on vacation. They want to come to Orlando to go to Disneyland and see the mouse.
Here's the other thing that you're forgetting. You know that they're going to give Canada and Mexico all the shitty games.
Yes!
So all the shitty countries are going to play there anyways, so they're not going to be in America.
I think Canada's going to get 1 or 2 good games.
Well, they're getting a semifinal.
Oh.
Well, yeah. I think you're underestimating global sentiment
I think you're overestimating it. Look at all the fascism going on in the world right now.
Exactly.
If there was an
People
election
are
in
fed
the
up
UK, they would vote reform. If there was an election in India, Modi, look at Modi right now. Dude, people like this politics, unfortunately. They're stupid.
It's
but
not
they
even
fuck
about
with the
that.
politics. Dude, I genuinely think people are going to show up. I agree. I think people are stupid. They're going to overlook all your concerns. These are very valid concerns. ICE is going to be out and about. They're going to be rampant. They're going to look at these concerns and be like, I'm still going to go.
So, and then the one last thing that I want to... The one last thing that
they
I want to say.
They had the same. I guarantee you, 8 years ago, there's 3 people talking right now in Russian. about the same issues going on. Dude.
Oh no, they're in the gulag.
Exactly. Dude,
I think
they're showing up. It's America. It's a World Cup.
The other thing is that the other thing is, guess how many people were at the Club World Cup final last year in Saudi Arabia?
I don't know.
65,000.
Bro, how much were
in Saudi
tickets?
Arabia.
How much were tickets? $4.
Wait,
who was playing in that Club World Cup?
Manchester City won the last one. Would their A team?
Brother, they're going to sell out the Club World Cup final. That's not an issue. They're going to make sure it's sold out. They're going to make sure all these games are sold out to make it look good for them. The problem is...
They're not selling out that game in Miami.
They're going to sell out that game in Miami.
They're going to say they sold it out, and then you're going to look around the stadium.
They're going to say it. Those seats are going to be filled. Those tickets,
I don't think so.
They're going to have homeless people come off the streets.
But
those seats are going to be fucking filled.
I genuinely think, not even for a bit, I genuinely think that you are overestimating, how many people here give a fuck and are going to go. And I genuinely think, because also,
I think you're overestimating how many people actually care.
Because you know what you brought up. You brought up families coming to America for vacation. That is the one clear thing that I actually have the fucking data right now to tell you isn't true anymore. Because none of these people are coming anymore.
Soccer.
People are
World Cup.
People are you can have one or
different.
You can have one or the two things. You can either say, "Oh, America's a place for families, and they're going to come anyways."
They're coming
so they
anyways.
might as well come watch soccer. They're not though.
They're going
Tourism
to.
is already down.
This is for this year, though. This is for this year. There's nothing going on this year. No one cares about 2025, but 2026, man.
You
Shit's
have
changing.
multiple sporting events happening. You have the Gold Cup.
No one cares. We have made
do.
this point clear. Nobody cares about the Gold Cup or the Club
I
World
don't
Cup.
know.
Brother.
All these games were sold out last year.
Brother.
No
one cares. Not all the Gold Cup games in Saudi Arabia were sold out. Are we going to talk about Saudi attendance? I got the Saudi attendance numbers.
Okay.
They're down. No one cares about this year. I agree. So listen, it's the thing with Donald Trump. It's immediately in our thoughts. A lot of Europeans, they are immediately thinking about Donald Trump. It's happened in the last 6 months. They're scared. They don't want to travel. I still think tourism, especially for a global event like the World Cup, this is not going to affect anything. I still think people are going to show up. I still think they're going to watch the games. I still think this is going to be the biggest World Cup in history, and it's not even going to be close.
You're
telling me right now, Qatar is going to outsell America. Genuinely.
In terms of
people showing up, in terms of people. By the way, biggest World Cup ever. 64 teams. No longer 48. 64. Okay, well, it's one of the two. But still,
it was 32 before. Now it's 48.
Okay, I knew it was one of them. But still, you're telling me right now, 48 teams who have never made the World Cup, that it's going to be a failure and people are not going to show up because they hate America.
I think what happens is, the numbers are going to be much less than what is currently being forecasted, and the numbers that are forecasted have already been adjusted a little bit to what we've seen, dude.
But
once
that
again,
reasoning is because they hate America.
I just think in general people do not want to come here anymore. I don't think people want to come.
That,
also, the other thing that you're forgetting is that just to go to one group stage game, probably for someone from Europe to fly here, get a hotel, go to one game, that's probably $1,000 a person.
They did the same thing to go to Qatar, man.
Qatar.
They did it to go to South Africa. They did it to go to Russia. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Qatar tickets are not this expensive.
If you're going, you're spending the money.
That's fine. Qatar tickets were not this expensive.
Also, we're going to
overprice the fuck
but that's
out
the
of
thing. We're also ignoring the fact that a shit ton of Americans are going to go to these games too. Shit ton of Americans. I'm going to go to one World Cup game. There's a game in Houston. I'm going to definitely go to that game.
Oh, I'm going to go to multiple.
Exactly. So hypothetically speaking, let's say if there is a lower attendance, less foreign nationals come, right? They're going to sell those fucking tickets to Americans either way.
Here's the thing. When we look back on Qatar right now, we say, cool, it was fine, but it was an abject failure to give that World Cup to that country, right?
Yes, 100%.
When we look at Russia, we say it was fine, the soccer was cool, it was an abject failure to give the World Cup to that country. I think when we look back on it in a decade, it will have been an abject failure to give the World Cup to the United States of America. Because once again, the end all be all is
Okay.
you're going to expect
Why?
100,000 people. I think there's a confluence of factors.
Because of Donald Trump?
No, I think it's a confluence of factors of this country's infrastructure is 200 fucking years old, and they're not making it better for when they have the largest influx of foreigners to go to sporting events that they've seen before on a major scale. It's going to be, our resources are going to be spread so thin.
Bro,
Let me finish.
I'm telling
That's gonna
you,
be one.
Qatar's public transport was
Qatar's
worse
a
than
tiny
us.
ass country.
Yes!
And
their
can
public
walk
transport
across
was worse
it.
than us.
You can walk across it.
Bro,
You can walk across Qatar.
I think you're overestimating how bad
here's the
public
thing.
transport in this country is. People are going to
Dude,
be able to get to these
I'm
games
just
matter
telling
what.
you, bro,
Uber,
people-
buses, whatever.
Oliver, there's
They'll figure it out.
Oliver. It takes people 5 hours to get home from MetLife Stadium currently from a weekend concert. What do you think it's going to look like for a major World Cup game?
Bro, you even said it earlier.
What do you think it's going to look like?
You even said it earlier. They rebuilt all this infrastructure that they've been doing to rebuild
They are.
cities.
Guess what they're not doing?
I still think they're going to do public transportation. They're
I
going to
don't
make sure
think
people...
that- okay.
Bro, the last thing they want, and this is even a Donald Trump thing, the last thing they want are foreign nationals stranded at stadiums, right? I don't think we're going to get
obviously.
foreign nationals stranded at stadiums.
I think we will. I think from a financial level, as I said before, the amount of money that they think they're going to make, I do not think they hit that.
I think that one's just wrong.
I also think just based off of vibes, it's going to be a shitty time for it. Once again, I would like to preface all of this by saying that I do not want this to happen. I want this to be like Oliver. I want this to be the greatest fucking World Cup of all time, and I want this to mog the rest of the fucking world and say this is how you fucking do this shit. That is what I want. I don't care who the fuck is president in that matter. I want to talk shit to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. I'm not rooting for this. However, I think that just based off of vibes as well, we knew the vibes in Qatar were bad. The journalist died. Germany was forced to stop doing what they were doing with the pride flag on the armband. We also, got our ass whooped after that, so not a great look for us. But what's it called? I think that's the vibe is not going to be fun soccer. While we're still going to have fun watching soccer, because Qatar was still fun, Russia was still fun. I do not think that when we look back on it in a decade, it'll be like, yep, this was a good deal. The other reason is
hold
because
on,
every single one more thing. Every single time a developed nation hosts a major sporting event, they go into a recession right after. That's another reason why we probably won't remember this well. And it does track because 1994 World Cup, Atlanta Olympics, recession. Now, confluence of other factors.
No, there was no recession
South-
after 1994. There was no recession. Early 90s, there was recessions.
South
Africa is also the most unequal country on earth.
One second. South Africa,
going.
Brazil, France. France's economy isn't doing great. We'll see what happens there after they host the
EU
World Cup.
economy.
It's only been a year. I'm just saying that is just backed data that every country that has hosted one of these has had it bad economic times afterwards. I just from a confluence of factors, I do not think
it is 11. It is almost midnight. Conrad, you good,
we're
bro?
yeah.
Sorry, man. No, I'm all good. I'm all good. I'm just sitting here taking notes because a year from now, I'm gonna I'm gonna be able to chirp one of you.
Oh, for sure.
It's gonna be
and
Noah.
Genuinely, I hope it's me. I hope it's me. I hope you guys can talk shit and tell me I was wrong.
Listen. Let me just give you my final rebuttal, right? I think everything the people hate America. I think people genuinely don't really like the president, but people like America. People love America, in fact. Bro, come on. People my cousin in Turkey doesn't like the president, but she fucking loves America. I think people are willing to travel to America just for tourism, just to see a few games. I think the infrastructure is not great. It's going to improve probably a little bit, but we're not going to get people stranded because all we need are buses, rental cars, whatever. I think things will be fine. I think they're going to make a shit ton of money. I genuinely think they're going to overperform. If a lot of foreign nationals don't show up, well, a lot of Americans, a lot of Mexicans, and a lot of Canadians are going to show up. I think it's going to be a success.
Do you think the overall vibe will be the games were fun, but the rest of it was not
Yes.
cool?
Yes. So I agree. I think so. Noah, 4 years ago. I'm sorry. No one, and I think it's evil that no one says this. No one thinks about the slave labor in Qatar. Unfortunately,
Yeah, they
no
took
one
people's
Genuinely?
thinks. You know what
passports.
they think about?
Genuinely.
They think about Messi winning his first World Cup. They think about the greatest World Cup final ever. When you say Qatar, they think of Messi. They think of the Argentinian goalkeeper using the trophy as his schlong. They don't think of the slave labor. They don't think of the dead journalists. They don't think of the pride flag. It's unfortunate. It's evil. They should be thinking about that, but they won't.
So
The game,
I think
it's
here's
sports washing for a reason.
yes.
Sports will wash
So
everything.
here's what I'll say. I agree with you because the Super Bowl happens, and the Baltimore Ravens win the Super Bowl. No Ravens fan is going to give a single fuck as to what Ray Rice has done in his life.
Yep.
I agree with you on that. We will excuse anything. Shout out Michael Vick. Bad example because he did
Michael
redeem
Vick
for
has
this.
repented for his sins.
Deshaun Watson and Browns fans. Case in point. Right? I also think that if you polled right now as to which percent of people had negative opinions on the World Cup in Qatar, it would be higher than the other World Cups because people are becoming more aware of it as we use social media to highlight this shit. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you ask about negative thoughts on the World Cup and the Olympics in Russia, it'll be higher than like South Africa or Brazil. Because even no one thinks about Brazil that way, especially me, because 7-1 and all of that.
Oh, dude, I remember the
greatest-
Brazilian Olympics and World Cup.
Greatest sports moment of my life was the semifinal in Brazil in 2014. But I think that the Brazil one in particular, because I've read up on it a lot, that shit was very bad for the people of Brazil. In the short run and the long run and everything. It is Brazil. It is one of the most corrupt countries on earth. But I think that people don't talk about that as much as they talk about Russia and Qatar because we had social media, because we were already looking for it. And I think people will be looking for it. And I think my opinion is stilted because all of my cousins, all of the people that I know that, either come here for school or just come here to visit occasionally, they never have, in the end, it will always be a net negative over a net positive in this country for them.
Really? Well, my cousin has the exact opposite, man. Every time they come to this country, it seems like a net positive over a net negative.
Part in it as well.
By the way, I would like to also mention everyone here suffers from Trump derangement syndrome, and we think the worst of everything will happen with Trump. And granted, it pretty much happens a lot. I mean, for God's sakes, we're about to go to war with Israel and Iran. But I think the World Cup is one of those things where it's you generally have to try to fuck this up. I don't think Trump's going to go out of his way to fuck this up.
So the thing is, last thing, it is about to be midnight. Shout out Conrad.
Shout out Conrad.
What's it called? I think that round one Trump wouldn't fuck up a good thing because he had some sort of sensibility still left in him. Round two Trump does not give a single fuck. Because you know what? Round one Trump was very good on the economy, and outside of reworking NAFTA, we didn't really fuck around with tariffs way too much at the level that we are now. Round two Trump doesn't give a fuck. And I think he's going to want to make it all about himself, as he wants to do with everything, and I think the net result of Donald Trump making everything about himself is always negative for this country. Yeah. And for the world. And I think that we're going to see it happen with the Club World Cup, too, because think about Donald Trump media strategy. There's a massive distraction waiting for you to use it. I think he's going to do a better job marketing the Club World Cup than FIFA did. Because whether something good to say or something bad to say, he will be saying something about it, just like he said shit about Taylor Swift at 6 a.m. I don't know, dude.
I think that's too low. I don't think it's on his radar at all, but I don't know.
This is the most chronically online person. As you said, soccer is a very followed sport. It's going to be online.
Yeah, but
I would also like to constitute
nationally, though.
One thing that they are doing that's really cool from a sports media standpoint, all of the games will be available to watch for free internationally, and I think that's really fucking cool. Because if you do want to grow this thing, that is the best possible way to do it, because no one has to pay to watch it.
Amen, brother.
Shout out DAZN.
All right. I don't have anything else to say.
What are we... I would like to say, for what I'm looking forward to this week, NBA, Stanley Cup, the Oilers just evened up the series, but
Yep.
also the Club World Cup. I think it will be very fun. I'm excited to watch soccer.
Oliver, I'll let
Man,
you.
slow weekend this weekend. Gonna probably hang around Houston. There's a vintage store I want to check out, and I forget the neighborhood what it's called, but a few vintage stores I want to check out. I'll probably go to the protest this weekend. Slow weekend, nothing too much. Gonna see the new Wes Anderson movie, but that's about it.
Yeah, I'm going to the protest on Saturday.
Nice.
That's pretty much what we're gonna do.
Let's go.
Going to the
Um,
Meadville protest.
Oh, I don't know if I'm brave enough for the Meadville protest. No, honestly, I think a lot of the Crawford County dams are pretty cool.
Dude, they run a good ship down there, man.
Like it seems like they punch above their weight.
They do. They do. Lindsey Scott, man. Shout out Lindsey Scott.
Seems like a really great
You're
person.
gonna get your deck done? Did you get your deck done?
Dude, if I have to sand one more fucking goddamn thing, dude. Like we didn't even I sanded my entire deck with a fucking orbital sander.
Damn, bro. What the fuck?
Dude, I wanted this so bad. Like they were like all the machines are, the big ones. And I was like, "All right, I'll do this." And our well, I guess yeah, well, we got hacked. And so for work, they're putting us to work in different departments for right now, answering phone calls to help out with like the customer demand for like claims and shit. But when I'm not doing that, I was sanding the fuck out of my deck.
Hell yeah, man.
Let's go.
So-
Dude, that deck is
Af-
gonna look so good.
Dude, I stained it today. And I was just like, I couldn't sand another fucking goddamn thing. And I looked at Susie and I was like, look, I know it will look better if I sand it a little bit more, but I just can't do it.
That's so fair. That's so fucking fair.
So
man.
real.
I've been there. I've 100% been there. Dude, menial labor, man. It's the funnest fucking thing.
Dude, let's just real quick and not here's the point I want to make. If you truly got paid for how hard your work was, dude, manual labor, holy shit.
Yep.
Can you imagine doing that day in, day out
Evil.
for decades?
Dude,
Making shit wages because people tell you that anybody can do it, therefore you shouldn't get paid. Fuck right off, dude.
Fuck
I
that
respect,
bullshit, man.
dude. You have one physical vessel in this life, and if you put the wear and tear on it that people who do manual jobs put their body through, like holy shit.
It's crazy. Dude, it's wild. My,
Mm,
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Real quick, one last bit of news before we stop recording. An appeals court has temporarily issued a stay on the National Guard getting back into California's control. So the next hearing is going to be in 4 days.
So it was overturned. Now it's re-overturned.
I mean, it was overturned, but now it's just like a stay. Like, oh, we'll just figure this shit out on Tuesday, I guess.
Oh, we'll figure. Fuck it. Let's have the weekend siesta. Grab a couple beers.
Let's let the National Guard starve in LA on our dime for another 4 days.
Oh, did I?
Wow.
Did I?
Israel bombs Iran and
Oh, yeah.
While there's a fire in California, there's another forest fire, and half the National Guard fire crews are deployed into LA for no reason, so they're not fighting that fire. Well, we will leave you with Oliver doing the eyebrows.
Yeah. Shout out California, man.
Shout out California. Shout out Gavin Newsom. He deserves one
Fuck
shout
him.
out. Well, yes, but still.
No.